Hey, it's Alice again, and it's been quite a while since you last saw me. It is, of course, time for another edition of Unboxing Alice, the YouTube channel with the purple fox that unboxes things. I'm, of course, your host, Alistair Frost, and today I'm going to go through Gateway Furmeet, which I attended last weekend. Before I do so, I am going to address the non-purple fox in the room. I'm not wearing my head, obviously, and there are reasons for that. I apologize for not doing this video in suit. Unfortunately, the last day of GFM, my fursuit developed a crack in the base. It started around at the bottom of the jaw, and it went kind of up, I'll have a picture, up to about where like the hinges for the moving jaw. So I'm not sure what happened. I didn't drop the head or anything like that. I just put it on and suddenly it was super loose. And as I explained in the unboxing video of said suit, it has an adjustable head, and I tried to adjust it, though it was already adjusted, and it just wouldn't get any tighter. And when I took it off and I got back to the hotel room, I realized there was a crack in it. So I have grounded that suit. I did let Blue Wolf know, and she has been in the hospital for about a week, I think, so she's a bit busy at the moment. She did remark before she went in that it was probably like a printing issue. The head base is 3D printed. So she's not sure if we should fix it or if I will need a new base. And if I need a new base, that sounds like I will need a new head. Either way, she's recuperating right now, so I'm not going to do much about it. I'm not going to bother her right now. Might ask our fursuit for some advice, but for right now, I really don't want to wear that head and break it further. So for the time being, I don't know how long it'll last, but I probably won't be having my fursuit head in these videos. And I'm really sorry about that. I did not expect to have to go back to this so soon, but unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. I do have my paws, though. But when I lost Alice 1.0, the paws went with her, so I couldn't wear these. But at the very least, I do have these paws, and I was able to sew up the hole from the last video, and now there's another hole. I didn't get a chance to sew that one up, but I'll do it later on, and you probably won't see it anyway. Anywho, so that's what's going on with the fact that I have no suit head, but we're going to talk about Gateway Furmeet. My other little disclaimer with that, I did take quite a bit of pictures and video, and you'll see those throughout this video. Some of the starting with the video, I took with my cell phone, which is what I'm filming this on, and some things I use my Insta360 camera for. And I've learned that it's a bit trickier to get things off of that. It's in a completely different format on my phone. Everything I think is in like MP4 or whatever, so everything accepts it. But with 360, it has its own format. It's also, yeah, I didn't realize how big 5K files would be. And my computer can't hold them all. So it will take a while for me to figure out how to get those on my computer or how to get them edited and all of that. So there may be video in this video. There might not be. There are a few videos I would like to just post separately. So that will happen whenever I figure that camera out. But for the sake of this video, I don't know if I'll have that video or not, just so you know. So with that, let's get into GFM, which occurred March, I believe, 11th through 13th of, like, basically, last week. Super excited about this. The last time I went was, of course, 2019. It was slotted for 2020, and, it happens in March when COVID hit. So, like, literally 2 weeks before Gateway Fur 2020, everything shut down. So they obviously couldn't do anything that year. I don't think they did much of anything in 2021. It might have been like an online music fest or something like that, but they didn't have like a real con. So this is my first time back since 2019. Super excited. I consider it my home con. It takes place in the St. Louis area. This year it was in Maryland Heights, Missouri, which is about an hour 45 drive from me, so not too bad. I generally go down there for my anime group and my Misty group anyway, so it's a drive I'm very familiar with. And I actually used to live in Maryland Heights when I worked for a public sector agency a few years back. So I'm pretty familiar with the area, and I'm super excited to go. And this is one where I tend to go by myself. I do have a friend that's in the furry fandom, and we've gone to Midwest Fur Fest together, but he tends to skip this one. This is a significantly smaller con. I believe MFF attendance was down this year. I believe it was like 8,000, but usually it's 11 to 12,000. With GFM, it's like 300, 350. It's a significant difference. So it's not worth the drive, unfortunately, for my friend who lives near Chicago. And I have a few other furry friends who are scattered in, like, off in central Illinois and down in the St. Louis area. They're still wary because of COVID. So this time I was going myself. I did see another friend there, one from my anime group. I will discuss her in a little bit. But yeah, I went by myself. So this is going to be on the expensive side. I got a hotel for 3 days. I went down Thursday night. I was originally going to go a little earlier to help with volunteering. I wasn't sure if they needed volunteers. I couldn't really tell. Like, for Thursday, not for the con. I was originally going to go donate platelets and then take the rest of the day off from work. I've been deferred from donation because I just came back from Nigeria. I'll be deferred for 3 months. So I ended up working the rest of the day anyway. But after work, I went ahead and drove down and checked in my hotel room. And all I could really do was register. There wasn't much for volunteers to do Thursday night. Nothing's really going on other than registration. So I did that. I went back into my hotel room and I worked on my panel. This is the first time in a very long time that I was doing my own panel. That was the bulk of what I worked on in Nigeria, in part because internet was so spotty. So I don't need internet to type on LibreOffice. I don't have Microsoft Office. So that's a lot of what I worked on when I was over there, but I was still tweaking some things and adding some things and changing some things. That 2 days before I left, what I had completed with my presentation, I actually showed my mom. So she suffered through an hour and 10 minutes of me talking about personas. God bless my mom. She is awesome. And I appreciated that. Anywho, I get there. I decided to just get dinner. I went to Fuzzy's Tacos, which is in, I think, Westport Plaza? I think something like that. I think that's what the area is called. It has like the Sheraton, which is what we're staying in. There's 2 Sheratons, I think. There's like one and there's like a chalet, something that sounds super fancy. And that's the one the con was in. But right like next to that area there's a bunch of different places to eat. Fuzzy's is one. It's a place I ate at a lot when I lived in Maryland Heights. I love their tacos and their nachos a lot, and they're really cheap too. I think it was $8 to $10, something like that. So super affordable for con-goers, for anybody. So that was basically Thursday night. I did check in with the staff and say, hey, I'm a volunteer, and what do I do? And they're like, oh, come back tomorrow. I was like, okay. So went down Friday. Went down at 10 a.m. on Friday morning. To check in again, they didn't really need anyone until late night. I believe the 18 plus panels are where they were having, the staffing issues. So they signed me up for Furry-oke. I'm not in Furry-oke. I'm going to be sitting at the door, checking badges and checking IDs because Furry-oke is 18 plus. And whenever they have an 18 plus panel, they will also check your ID. So your driver's license or your state ID, or I guess your passport, if that's what you have, or whatever you've got that has your date of birth and your picture. So go back to that's like at 9 p.m. So we'll go back to they assigned me the thing and I say cool. I decided to go to opening ceremonies, but I went down there at 11 and I didn't see anything. And it turns out they apparently did them early, and this is a reoccurring theme with this year anyway. So it was super short, and like everybody missed it because they did it early. But not a big deal. I usually don't go to the opening ceremonies anyway. I did go to the dealer's den when it opened at noon. There's a decent amount, probably about 10-ish vendors, maybe a little more, a little less, something like that. So probably not less, but probably a little more. And there was some really good stuff. There was one person I really liked their art. I'd like to commission them at one point. The character I would like to use is currently not done. I'm actually creating my own, another fursona and a whole species. But we're in the process of creating the fursona that will represent that species. So she's not done yet, so I can't really commission that guy yet. And, excuse me. I also saw Talenchi down there. I mentioned her in MFF. I was going to get a customized notebook of her for like my D&D games and probably my Japanese practice, because it's the one with the magnetic notebook so you can interchange them. And she was there. I had to put that on hold after MFF, and now I'm working on Lunar Twilight, but as soon as I'm done with her, we're going to go ahead and divvy up that sketch, and I'll give that to her, and then we'll get that notebook done. So that's kind of the only real thing I was looking at. The only two things I was looking at. There were a few other cute things, but nothing that really, really caught my interest. After that, it was a little bit of downtime. I think I did go... I took a bunch of like snacks and stuff from my room because I'm cheap as heck. So, you know, apples and grapes and blueberries and popcorn and all kinds of things like that. You know, I had a little break in my room, went back down for the Aquatifer panel, basically creating an aquatic sauna. The panelist was really funny, and they work at, I believe, this St. Louis, like, aquarium, so which is really cool. So they spend all their day around like aquatic things, and they love them so much. So they're trying to advocate more people make aquatic saunas. I just went because it sounded interesting, and I would like to make a male Storka sauna. M-A-E-L. I can't spell in the air. S-T-O-R-C-A, I think. Male Storka. It is an original species. It is very much open, and I believe it was created by Jinxit. So go find them, and it's, again, really cute species. Open everybody to make. I do have a headshot of my male Storka sauna, Oceana, but I don't have a body. She doesn't have a body yet, so. But so that's an aquatic that I'm really interested in making. But I went to that, and then after that, I'm sorry, I have a cheat sheet because I forgot the things I did. There wasn't much to do for a little bit, so I kind of chilled in the room, and I worked on my panel, and then the Furs of Color met at 4:30, I think. That was run by my friend Tyler Cook, that is her son's name. She is the one that is also in my anime group. And we both attended the BIPOC meet at Midwest Fur Fest I discussed in my MFF video. And we really enjoyed it, and we feel it's really important to have something like that for Furs of Color. So I went to that, and we were afraid we'd be the only two. We just talked to each other for an hour, which we could still do, but you know, we had probably about 10 people that showed up, which is really cool. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but GFM is really small, so it's a really tiny con. But we had a really good discussion about just, you know, parts of the fandom that we wish would change, and some things that, you know, the fandom does really right with race, what they don't do right with race. It was a really, really good discussion between all of us. And so, once again, I really enjoy panels like that. It sounds like it's drama to some people, or it's politics for some people, but it is very important for people, for furries of color. It is our life. Not much dissimilar from the LGBTQ support that the fandom has. That is also a human rights issue. So I won't get on my soapbox for this video, but I just wish there was a lot more support for racial issues as much as there is for LGBTQ. That is really a frustration with a lot of us, especially for furs of color who are also LGBTQ. I'm sorry, Alyss, I hit you in the face. After that, that's when I got the food. I've been doing like snacking all day. After that panel is when I actually got food. So I went to, I think, Trainwreck. Yeah, I went to Trainwreck Saloon, and I got like a black bean burger and like sweet potato fries for the side. I also got some cheese curds, and I needed none of that. Well, okay, I didn't need the cheese curds, and my doctor has told me that my cholesterol is really high and I need to avoid cheese. I didn't know that at the time. So, I mean, did I need those cheese curds? No. But were they good? Yes. Yes, they were. They're also really expensive. I think that was a $30 bill just for a burger and fries and like an appetizer. It was really expensive. But after that, I went off to Furry-oke. Again, I'm just running the door. I'm not actually in it, but I can definitely hear it. Wow. There were some really good singers and some really not so great singers, but everyone had a really good time, and that's what matters. There were some very crabby people that came up to me, and they showed me the con badge. Like, I need to actually see your state badge too. And they're like, wait, what? So I was like, it's an 18+ panel. I'm really sorry, but a couple people complained because I think technically the con badges, especially, it depends on the con you're at, but they tend to have designations if you are a minor. and I think miners had like a yellow or red strip or something like that on their badges at GFM, but they will still check ID. It just for a whole host of issues, liability and things like that. They really, and Furry-oke is probably the tamest of the 18 plus panels. It was probably 18 plus because of like maybe language and probably content depending on what people are singing. But outside of that, I can't see it getting too blue. There are obviously other panels that are very adult in nature, but it's still 18 plus. So, and I am a volunteer. I'm there to door check, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to check the door. So after that, I think I crashed. So I was really, really tired. Saturday rolled around. I'm looking at my cheat sheet because I forgot what I did. Where's that? Yes. So Saturday, I kind of went back and checked with volunteer again, with the volunteer section again and staff, and they needed someone at the door for like 11 to 12 at the dealer's den. So I went ahead and did that because I really like volunteering. It was fun. And from noon to 1 every day, they would just shut down the dealer's den just so the artists themselves could actually go eat and, stretch their legs and everything. And that's actually really nice. There are not a lot of conventions that will do that, especially ones that are super huge and they might not have the staff. So some might just like run food and beverages and stuff to the vendors. But this one, it was nice that they shut everything down and just kind of let them go, do stuff. After that, it was the Fursuit Parade. And so I had a little bit of time, went and, had a snack or whatever. And after that, I put on my suit. And they were going to take the picture of all the fursuiters at, I think, 1:15. And then they were going to do the parade after that. I went down there probably around 12:55 or 1. They'd already taken the picture. And I was really, really mad. Again, this was a reoccurring theme. They were doing things early. If I'd gotten down there late, then that's on me. But don't do things early. Whatever it says in the schedule, please stick to that. It says 1:15. Please take the picture at 1:15. Don't take it early. When I got down there, they were already off on the Fursuit Parade. I just had to jump in. But I did get some video of that on the 360 camera. Once again, if I figure out how to edit stuff, I will either put that in this video or I will just make that a separate video and just post it. But, I think it's about a 6-minute long video, something like that. Still a lot of fun. Got to parade around the place. There were, furries and, furry supporters everywhere. We did share the hotel with, I think it was a hockey group this year. I don't think we got too many of them messing around. I'm not really sure. For the parade, it was fine. We did go, parade our way outside. I stupidly wore my indoor feet paws for this parade, so I wore them outside. They're not torn up or anything like that. They were just very, very dirty. So I had to use my little green carpet cleaner and clean that as well as my tail. Tails you usually don't need to clean. I tend to wear dark wash jeans, and that dye will rub off on things. And with my big heavy tail swinging around and bumping into me all day, that dye is going to rub off on my tail. So I did clean my tail, but it was still fine. I had a good time, got a lot of good pictures. I didn't realize until after the pictures my fly was down. You will see that in the pictures as I put them around in this video. Yeah, my fly was down the entire time. And no one said anything. Or maybe they did, and I didn't hear them. I don't know. But other than that, there were some really good pictures that were taken. After that, I went ahead and desuited. I did wear my feet paws for this. I hadn't really worn them before. I think for another video, for one of my videos, I wore them over there, but I wasn't standing in them. I was sitting. And I think I walked around the hotel room a little bit at MFF, but they're really uncomfortable. They're made of Crocs. I know Crocs are super popular, and they're comfortable for some people. They are not at all comfortable for me. So the feet paws I have, they really hurt. It really sucks. I was able to tolerate it for, I think, maybe... I made myself tolerate it for about an hour and a half. I did go down there when I went to volunteer at the door, but I sat most of the time because I was manning the door for the dealer's den. And the parade was 5 minutes long. It wasn't that long. So I braved that. But yeah, I could not wait to get those feet paws off because they really, really hurt. So I did take that off. And what did I do after that? I'm going to check my cheat sheet. Oh, I am so dumb. So I went back down to the charity auction, and this was I will buy stuff from Challenger later, but when it comes to things I actually bought, there are only 3 things I bought. 3. and they were all from the charity auction. The charity this year was, I believe, Gateway Pets. I feel like there's another word in there, but Gateway Pets, basically. An animal shelter down in the St. Louis area. So, it was a super good cause. They did bring 2 other dogs. I think they're both pits to the convention to, smile and be cute and, love everybody and hopefully get adopted. I only saw one by Sunday, so maybe the first one got adopted. I don't know. I love dogs. I do not have time for dogs. I don't have the space for a dog. And my mom does not like pit bulls, unfortunately. I told her many times, pit bulls are fine. She won't believe me, so I don't think I'll be getting a pit bull. But the pit bull was really cute. Anywho, going back to the charity auction, had some really cute stuff for sale. Things didn't really go super high, which I appreciated. Because I've been to auctions where one thing has literally gone over $1,000. And awesome, because that's great. It's going to the charity. It also makes me sad because I can't blow $1,000 on one item. one item. So things were definitely more realistic for me in this auction. I will go ahead and show you what I got because there are only 3 things. So we're not going to have a swag video like I did with MFF. I did not buy very much. The first thing I bid on was, come here, Clydezilla. He still has his number from the auction on the back of his head. This is Clydezilla. The mascot for Gateway Furmeet is Clyde. I believe he's a horse, which is an interesting choice. This specific version of Clyde is from 2015. I don't know if that was their first con or not. I have to double check that. But it says right there, GFF 2015. And this is Clyde, and he was a kaiju, and he was destroying things and apparently, holding and eating buses. But this was one of 2 they had left. They had no more left, so after these are sold, they're gone. And I think it was $70. I bid way too much on Clyde. I bid the 70. I was like, someone outbid me. So dang it! Clyde is mine! It's okay. It went to charity. So, I got Clyde. It's right over there. And I got this little unicorn thing that someone painted. It's really cute. And it does light up. Let me see if I can find there's something weird and sticky on the back of it, so I put, some tissue there, just so it doesn't go to my toes, but I feel like I need to turn this on. No. Why won't you turn it on? Let's take out this off to do it. Ah, there we go. Okay. So, now it lights up, and it's a very pretty little nightlight. There is unicorn nightlight that goes in my room. This is not MLP style, but it is a unicorn, so I'll just stick it in my room. And finally, I did it, sure that. They had 2 giant, Hello Kitty pillows or whatever. And one went for half this, and I'm mad at myself. I think I overpaid for it. But I got this big giant Hello Kitty pillow that, oh my god, I'll slap myself in the face with it. It is humongous. It is ridiculous. It's also very soft. Oh my god. This is the world's softest pillow. It is fantastic and I love it. And honestly, this is worth $40. This is a really big pillow for $40. This thing is so big, and I will put the picture in this video. When I was driving home from the convention, Hello Kitty wouldn't fit in my back seat because I had, my suitcase in there with the suit and everything, and a few other bags. I put her in the back seat, and I strapped her in like a child. She was a fat child riding in the back of my car all the way back to my hometown. So that is Hello Kitty, the mermaid, I guess. They had another one that had a flower print on the bottom, and I didn't like that at all. So I went for Hello Kitty mermaid. Was never a humongous Hello Kitty fan, but she's fine. She's fine. And she's very much, anthropomorphic animal. So I went ahead and grabbed Hello Kitty. She now lives in my living room because I'm running out of space for my plushes. She will not fit anywhere. I could put her in my office. I would count her as anime and put her in my anime-themed office. There's no space in my anime-themed office for her. So, so many other plushies in this room, not that this is technically my dining room, but behind this camera is my living room. She owns a chair over there. That's her chair now. This is her chair. So I got those from the charity auction. I only went to the charity auction for the first, I think 40 minutes, something like that. And after that was my panel. I did a panel on personas. It was titled Help, I Need a Fursona ASAP, and then, how to create your very own persona. I meant to put that in all caps. I don't think I did, but I got that title because every other time I spend way too much time on Reddit, and every other time I see someone post about personas, it's like in all caps, urgent or help me or and you open it up and you think they're being mauled by a bear. And no, how do I create my persona? I need a persona. It is not that serious. Stop using all caps, people. It's not that serious. It really, you can feel free to ask how to create a persona. You do not need all caps. If you do not have a persona, you are not going to literally die. Please stop doing that. Anywho, went through my panel. I was terrified when I walked in. I was expecting like 2 people, like myself and then my friend Tyler. So I walk in and there's like 20 people there waiting for me. And it was horrifying. I was scrambling to set up my computer and then setting up this phone, because I did record myself doing that. I recorded it with this phone and I recorded it with the 360 camera. This phone, it doesn't look very good because it had to be super close up. I couldn't put it on like a table that was further back because people were sitting at those tables. So it's kind of squished in, but I haven't looked at that footage yet. If it's usable, then I might post that version. If not, the 360 camera has like a fisheye view, so things are further behind. And that one will probably look a lot better, but again, I have to figure out that camera. So, but I did do that, and it went off pretty well. In hindsight, I should have added a lot more to it, not just gone close to my not my spreadsheet, my PowerPoint presentation. But I did get some good questions. I did get some good comments. I felt awful that it only ended. It was like 45 minutes long. That was my entire presentation. When I did it with my mom, it was an hour 10, and I had an hour and a half slot. I was like, oh my god, literally half of this panel is still active. So we just had some questions and comments and things like that afterwards. I said, you know, if you're good to go, you can freely. I'm sorry, I just lasted a lot longer when I did this with my mom. I think it went really well, and I don't know if I'll do another panel anytime soon. I don't know what I do it on. Maybe how to get a fursuit. That's the only other thing I know how to do. I did this panel in part because of the questions on Reddit that I see, but also because I have roughly 8 sonas at this point and then 4 characters. So I figured I know some stuff. I know stuff about sonas. I can help people make sonas. So after that, since my panel ended a little early and my next event had been moved to 8 p.m., I decided to head out and go to my Mystery Science Theater 3000 group. That is a meetup group down in, again, St. Louis. So this has nothing to do with the con. I'm not going to go into it too much. Just went to my friend's house and we watched, came in the middle of whatever Mystery Science, MST3K thing they were watching. I think it was one of the newer episodes, which to be honest, I don't really care for it that much. They just aren't as funny to me. But I came at the tail end of that, and then we watched a riff tracks of, I think, the Gummy movie, or like a Gummy movie, I'm not sure which one. It's actually kind of entertaining. It's really goofy, and the voice acting was really bad. But it was kind of entertaining, and I will always forever credit people who use stop motion. Not like the CGI looking stuff, like actual stop motion. This thing was made in, I think either late 70s, early 80s, something like that, so definitely no CGI was involved because I don't think it literally existed back then. But yeah, I have so much respect for people who do stop motion because it looks really, really hard to do and really time consuming and tedious, honestly. But the end product, it looks really great. So getting away from that because it's not the con. I went back to the con, and at 8 p.m. they had a guest of honor dinner. And I was a super sponsor for this event, so I got to go to that dinner along with my friend Tyler. And it was at Kobe Restaurant, which I'd never been to before. I'd heard of it. It's like inside kind of a mallish area in Westport Plaza. But I'd never been to it because I heard it was kind of expensive. If you've ever been to like a hibachi grill, like Benihana is one that a lot of people know of. We have one called Osaka here in my hometown. But they're the ones that have the big, what do you call it? Like grills, and they cook the food in front of you and do like fancy tricks and all of that, and it's all, you know, Japanese themed food. It was kind of like that. So a place that it's really, really cool, but it's also like a special occasion place. For years, my mom would take me and my sister on our respective birthdays to that place. I don't go to the one in town anymore because during a takeout, they gave us a really bad takeout order one year, and I just kind of forever boycotted them. But this place is, completely different place, and I was super excited because I know what to expect. Went with a bunch of, there's quite a few of us, maybe probably 30 of us, like super sponsors that went to this. And the wait was an hour. It was, because we had a reservation too. Wait was still over an hour. And I was getting antsy because I told the guy in charge of volunteering I would help with, I think it was the baby fur panel. Like, just, again, sit at the door and check badges and IDs, because that, I'm sure you gathered that was an 18 plus panel. We didn't get seated until like 9. And the Benihana, like, hibachi, it's not quick. You're paying for dinner and a show with the chef doing all sorts of, fancy, freaky weirdness. So it's, yeah, I'm going to miss this. And the guy, one of the staff members who was with us, I said, can you tell, what's his name, what's going on with me? Because I'm supposed to be at the, someplace at like 9:30 or something like that, whenever the panel was. And we're here. And he said he did, but I don't know if he told the guy anything. I don't know. But yeah, the Benihana thing was the Kobe experience was really fun. And there was actually one guy there that went in his fursuit because he wanted to get pictred. I envy him. I would not put any of my fursuit parts near any food. And you're supposed to clean your fursuit regularly anyway, but for me, that's just extra work. The last thing I want is to clean teriyaki out of these. It's not gonna happen. Don't want that. So kudos to him. He got some cute pictures. It was, besides the wait, it was, really great experience. The food was really good. I think I got scallops and shrimp. If you've never been there, it's usually, they give you like a ginger salad, or I guess you can have like a different dressing if you want. They give you like a type of soup. I forgot what the soup is. This one actually gives you noodles with the dinner entree. Some of these places don't. Osaka does not. But your dinner includes rice. You can get white, or you can pay an upcharge and get fried rice. You'll get some hibachi vegetables, and I asked for no onion in mine because it's not like onion. And then you get your entree, which can be steak or chicken or shrimp or lobster or whatever it is. I think we all had like a $35 budget. We didn't have to pay for this. It was the guest of honor banquet. So through that super sponsor, I guess we kind of paid for it. So I got the shrimp and the scallops, and it was really good. I had a good time. And then I rushed the heck back and explained what was going on. I said I felt horrible. Is there anything else I could do? And they said, well, you can help with the dance or whatever. So I went down and I manned the dance. This isn't 18 plus, so I don't have to check, state IDs. I just am checking badges. But I stayed at the dance for 2 hours, and I was only supposed to work an hour from like 9:30 to 10:30 at the baby fur panel, whatever it was. But I felt so, and they were like, it's not really bad. It's like, yes, it is. For me, it is. I don't make commitments if I'm not sure I can honor them. So with this, it was a no-brainer. Yep, I show up at 9:30, I do my little door duty, and then I'll be done for the rest of the night. And I felt, when I break a commitment like this, I feel horrible. I really do. And so I was like, no, I will sit at the door as long as you need me. They let us go, I think, at 12:30. The dance went on for another hour, but like, y'all can go. You go. You're good. So that was the end of Saturday night. Sunday rolled around, and it's checkout for me. I know some, depending on where you're coming from, some people will get hotel rooms, Thursday night like I did. Some will get them Wednesday nights, and some will check out Sunday like I do. Some will stay till like Monday or Tuesday, and it'll depend again on where. If you're coming from someplace far away where it's like a flight, some people may extend their stay. So they'll come for the con, but maybe a day or two before they'll go see the city. Day or two after, they'll see the cities. It depends on people. I'm not that far away, so I'm not gonna pay. Again, I'm in a hotel room by myself, which is great. I've heard so many horror stories about just bad con roomies. If you go find Ash Coyote and the horror stories they had in a couple of there's some really inconsiderate and flat out infuriating people that the Ash and her husband is roomed with. But for me, I like having the solitude, but it's going to be significantly more expensive. I'm not splitting that bill with anybody. So I'm not going to stay there longer than I have to. So I'm checking out Sunday. Unfortunately, Sunday is the Fursuit games. I normally miss those because they're on Sunday. And I generally don't suit on Sunday because I'm checking out of the hotel. But I went to the front desk and I was like, hey, is there a way I could extend my stay a couple hours? And she's like, yeah, that's fine. It's free. You let us know. You're good. I was like, sweet. So I suited up and I went down to the Fursuit games. I actually recorded the entire Fursuit games, all hour, 50 minutes of it, whatever. That was recorded on the 360 camera. So if I can get that to work, I will make that a separate. I'm not gonna combine it with this. I might do some highlights if I can get it to work before I post this video, but I will make that its own separate video. It won't, like, these extra videos, the Fursuit Parade, my presentation, and the Fursuit games, they're not going to take the place of my bi-monthly video. They're just going to be there. I'm just going to post them so you guys can see them. So when I get that straight, I will go ahead and post that. It was a lot of fun and really, really tiring. The first thing we played, it was like a game where we had to lock hands and like move a hula hoop from one side to the other without, breaking formation or whatever. We played hockey. We played Duck Duck Goose. We played musical chairs. I felt bad because me and a guy tried sitting on the same chair and I sent that dude flying. I felt so bad, but I am like double his size. He was not winning that. But it's okay, because I got knocked out later on too, so we had a lot of fun. We even played a more calmer game like Jenga. We sat in a circle and played Jenga a bit. There was actually a couple young furs. I saw one had a really cute suit. I was like, wow, your parents must really love you. Well, I didn't say that. I thought in my head, like, my God, your parents really love you to get you a suit. It was actually one of her mom's suits, and she had refurbed it for her daughter, and it was really, really cute. But there's another family there, 2 girls. One had a dino mask. She's probably like 8, something like that. And her mom encouraged her to play Jenga with us, and so she's sitting next to me. And you'll see her in the video. Not her, but her dino mask. But that was really cute. I'm sure she had a blast. I think she had a sister as well. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the Fursuit games. I'm glad I was able to participate for once. After that, of course, I go back up, pack up, and check out the hotel. On my way back, I told you we were sharing with a hockey group. Like, the hockey group on the first floor, they had not quite balcony. The Sheraton Chalet, whatever, has balconies in the rooms. And obviously, if you're in the first floor, you don't have a balcony, you're going to have like a little deck. So they can open their doors and come right out to like the outside. There was like hockey gear everywhere, and I have a picture of that. It's like, this is the kind of crap that the furries would get blamed for, and this happens every year from what I hear, that we're always sharing with a hockey group or a soccer group, like a youth sports, and they will cause mischief and trash stuff and try and blame us for it. It's ridiculous. But I just saw hockey gear all over the place. What do you do? I guess you need to, dry it or something. I don't know. It was not a good look, honestly. But it's whatever. I put my stuff away. I was going to volunteer one more time for Floor Wars. I did not go to... There was a dance competition. There always is. I just did not go. So that's why I didn't mention that. But Floor Wars isn't... It's a lot more informal. From what I learned when I went, I'd never seen Floor Wars before. I knew it had something to do with dancing. I can't dance, so I'm not going to be in it. But I volunteered to sit at the door. And because I was so close to the door, I got to see all the acts. And I did record all of those. I don't think I'll put those up. But I did get a lot of good recordings. The person I was really rooting for won, so that was awesome. But everyone did a really good job. It was a really fun time. So that was Floor Wars, and I think after that I went ahead and got lunch. I learned my lesson, and I went back to Fuzzies because they were way cheaper, and I got some nachos. And when I went back, it was the closing ceremonies, and so that was nice. They thanked the charity, they thanked all of the attendees, and they thanked the volunteers. It was a really nice time. After that, it was basically takeout, and so I helped them, take a bunch of stuff down and gather stuff and clean stuff, and I think they might offer to make me a staff member. I'm not really sure. We'll see if that goes through. That'll be interesting. I don't know what the difference between a staff member and a volunteer is, to be honest. I should know that, but when it comes to con stuff, I don't know. I've never been on Concept. I've been on Concept once, and that was in 2010 was my graduation year. So in undergrad, my anime club created a con called KoroshiCon, and I was part of that staff. I was one of the founding members. Me and a friend of mine ran the vendor hall. So I have done that. I have volunteered for that because nobody was paying for that. But outside of that, I've never really worked at a con before. So it was a lot of fun. It was very hurried at times, and not everything was completely clear when it comes to the volunteering. But I really enjoyed volunteering. If I could be a staff member, that'd be cool. If I don't, then I'll just volunteer next year. It was a lot. It was a blast. So, and then I went, drove home with Hello Kitty strapped in the back seat like my chubby child, and told my mom all about the things. So, it was a crazy weekend. I really enjoyed it. It had a few ups and downs. Stop doing things early, Gateway Furmeet. Stop it. That drove me nuts. But outside of that, it was a lot of fun. That guest of honor dinner I told you about, I wasn't even planning on going because I was like, I don't know who the guest of honor is, and I could look it up online because I'm sure they didn't change that on the website, but I don't know who the guest of honor is. I don't think they were at our, because we had to split up our group because there's so many of us. I don't think they were at our table. So I'm not sure what's the point of. I'm here to celebrate the guest of honor, but I don't know who they are. I don't know what they look like. This is probably my fault, but yeah. I wasn't even planning on going to that because I just didn't care, but I'm glad I went because I basically paid for the dinner anyway, so it was a blast. I will continue to recommend going to Gateway Furmeet. We had 300 and I think 62 people, somewhere like that. And we raised over $5,000 for Gateway Pets. So, in true furry fashion, we give generously, we give large, we love our charities, and that's something about the furry fandom that I've always loved. The Brony fandom actually does the same thing as well. They usually do have charities, and for some reason, I have been to quite a few anime cons. I don't think they do that, or I haven't been the ones that have. But for the Bronies and the furries, they definitely care about charity, and they dig deep for things like that. And I'm just really, I feel like I have glasses and I don't. I think I'm pulling. There we go. I am just happy that all turned out the way it did. I'm really glad I was able to go this year. I'm glad they were able to have it. I am already looking forward to next year. And yeah, that is my Gateway Furmeet weekend. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you went. Let me know what you thought about it. If you went and saw me, then say something in the comments. You know what my fox looks like. I'm very distinguishable. There were not really any other fursuits that looked like mine, so you saw me. If you were there, you saw me. But let me know what you thought about my regrets. these things I bought, but it's all $140 with charities, so I can never be mad about that. It was a fun time. And just let me know what you guys think. And you guys know the drill. If you like what I do, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I should be back to normal with my 2 videos a month starting in April. I do not know if I will have a head for April or for any foreseeable point in the future. When Blue Wolf gets a bit better, I will talk to her about that and see what's going on with that. But I do not want to risk breaking that head even more. I don't know where that crack came from, but I don't want to make anything worse. So she is going to rest in her box. I will continue to just wear my paws in my future videos at the very least. And I don't know if I'll go back to Fursona pins. I probably should. But there are a lot of Kickstarters I need to unbox, including games. I mentioned that multiple times. There are definitely Kickstarter games I want to unbox. There's a couple little Alyss graphics that are going to go with those, and I will have... Well, actually, you will probably see my new unboxing animation before this video. That was created by Ari-Galaxy. It was actually a contest win, so I didn't pay for it, and it looks spectacular. So that is what I've got for the foreseeable future. Until my next video, guys, I hope you guys are staying safe and staying healthy. Please look after each other, be kind to each other, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.